Jay is on his way.
Yeah,
He's on.
Do we have a,
Here's Rita.
okay,
it's 5.
that's a quorum, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock.
okay.
And of course, we're doing it virtually because of the pandemic. Our mission is teaching and learning. And our board goals are, actually, they're going to change tonight a little bit, but they're to provide dynamic, rigorous curriculum, to ensure effective and engaging instruction, and to embrace excellence and learning, and excellent learning environment. And you see how I stumbled over that? That's because the less you say, the more you say. And that's why our mission, everybody can say, and that's teaching and learning. That's what we do. So, Zay, I'm going to ask you to lead the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask the scholars to join in after. So let's all stand, and we'll put the flag, and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance, which is so important today. Zay, you ready?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, our first order of business today is really my pleasure. We have 16 Martin Luther King scholars in the New London County, and each one of them is going to be awarded a $20,000 scholarship, $20,000 each to 16 students. And that means it's such a statement about our community, because it means that people bonded together to do this for young people. There are companies like Pfizer's who give thousands of dollars. There are institutions and individual members who give $10,000, $20,000. And there are people who just send us $20 or $10 a month to support the scholarship. And what a statement that makes about who we are as a community. I'm going to turn the introductions over to Zay in a minute, but the reason I wanted to talk a little bit about why when there are more than one scholar, and we have 5 from Fitch High School, 5, and actually we have a 6th in a way. Oh, there are 5 from Fitch High School, and when there are more than one scholar, I turn it over to them because I want our scholars to be able to build confidence and to build poise, but most of all, to build authority. And of course, being the teacher in me, I also want them to have opportunities to practice public speaking. But before I turn it over to Zay, I want to talk a little bit about who these young people are. You all know that they're the National Honor Society, and they're in the advanced placement classes in the International Baccalaureate, and they're on the dean's list all the time. But who are they as individuals, as human beings, and how do they use who they are to get to be Martin Luther King scholars? Let me tell you a little bit about them. They're in the Humanitarian Club. They work in the soup kitchens in the community. They work in our elementary schools. They're models for special needs students. They're class officers. They're managers of sports teams. One of them is on the Groton Democratic Committee, so already involved in politics in the town, and not just politics, but governing the town and making choices about the town. They want to be doctors and lawyers and interior designers. They are the most dynamic young people that you are ever going to meet. And so I wanted to say we have 5 young people from Fitch Senior that you're going to meet tonight. But we really have one more in the Groton Public Schools community who's a scholar. Doesn't go to Fitch Senior. He doesn't even live in Groton. He goes to New London's Magnet School of Technology and Magnet School. But his mom, Mrs. Leonel Karambaya works at our high school. So we want to send you, Mrs. Karambaya, our best wishes for Soha, who's looking at two places. One, MIT, and the other, my heart, the Coast Guard Academy. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Zay. You ready?
Yes. All right.
Are you sure?
As ready as I'll ever be. All right.
You just muted yourself.
Hello?
There you
Okay.
are.
Sorry about that. We are honored that you have invited us here tonight. We are appreciative for everything Groton Public Schools has done for us. I've had the honor to attend 2 Martin Luther King dinners, which both sparked my determination for this scholarship. And I'm sure I speak for the rest of the scholars when I say, we are extremely grateful. The application process was one of a kind and very competitive. The scholars this year were chosen based on attributes and services to the community. And as we are extremely grateful for that, we want to take this time to thank our mentors, Dr. Ackerman, Ms. Hodge, and Ms. Akins, 3 wonderfully powerful and inspiring women who have stood right by our sides throughout this entire process. That being said, this is my dear friend and fellow scholar, Fatima Mansour. I've had the honor to grow up alongside Fatima at Westside Middle School and Fitch High School over the past 7 years. She brings light to dark days with her natural comedic sense of humor. She is a well-rounded student athlete, which makes her a powerhouse in her community. She has worked for the Town of Groton Parks and Recreation for the past 2 years, devoting her time to inspire the children around her. She even dedicates some of her time to teach children how to read and write in Arabic. She plans on majoring in biology on a pre-med track because she lives to help those in need. It is my pleasure to introduce my dear friend, Fatima Mansour.
Thank you for those kind words, Zay.
Oh, you're upside down. You're sideways.
Wait.
There you are. Almost.
Almost.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you for those kind words, Zay. I'm excited to introduce one of the most kind-hearted people I know, Tristan Cletus. We went to Westside together 7 years ago, and I'm so glad that I got to meet her. She plans on going to City College of New York or UConn, where she plans on studying biology with a pre-med track. She wants to be a dermatologist since she believes that skin is so much more than just the surface. In the same way, Tristan is so much more than her awesome hair that I'm totally jealous of, by the way. She's always looking out for her friends. Like in 6th grade when she told me that I didn't need to bring scissors to school every day, I took that advice every day after that. It's been an honor watching her grow into the person that she is today, and I'm excited for all of you to watch her grow into a wonderful woman with me. I'm excited and I'm proud to introduce my friend Tristan Cletus.
Thank you, Fatima. And I'd like to thank you all for inviting us this evening. I've had the honor of knowing Zoe Costello for the past 5 years and watching as she has grown into the most persevering and warm-hearted woman. Zoe is the captain of the cheer team here at Fitch, where she puts her leadership skills on the forefront, and you get to hear another side of her soft voice. She's always been one of the most organized and prepared students with a plethora of colorful pens, always ready to let you borrow them for your own notes. Zoe has decided to pursue her passion in interior design and is going to attend Texas Christian University in hopes of one day having her own interior design firm, where I hope she will help me design my kitchen. I am so privileged and honored to be able to stand beside her as a Dr. Martin Luther King scholar, and it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Zoe Costello.
Thank you, Tristan. I can't wait to design your kitchen in the future. It's my pleasure to introduce my fellow scholar, Deja Driscoll Smith. Deja's strong personality commands the attention of any room that she enters. This plays a role as she is captain of the women's track team here at Fitch. Deja plans to further her education in New York City as she studies political science on a pre-law track. This choice stems from her passion for the subject. Deja hopes to work for the Department of Justice in the future. And tonight I present to you Deja Driscoll-Smith.
Thank you, Zoe. This is one of my closest friends, Xavier Keto, or better known as Zay, and he needs no introduction. Zay is a senior class representative, and he's also a representative for the Board of Ed. We met in our freshman academic seminar class, and we have been close ever since. We have learned together, failed together, and grown together. Zay plans to major in biology at a HBCU so he can become a pediatric doctor. It is my pleasure to introduce Zay Keto.
Thank you, Deja. I really appreciate it. Again, thank you for having us here tonight. We are grateful for your continued support when you attend the dinners and ecumenical services, even if they're virtual.
I just want to add, as your new superintendent, that I am ever so proud, and I was thrilled to be able to join you in the classroom when we were able to honor you and hear you call your parents and aunts and family members. And we just feel that this is just one of the feathers in your cap, and you will go places. So come back and see us and let us know. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If there are board members who wanted to ask any questions before we begin our meeting, I just want to thank, from Erica Watson to everybody. I saw something about that. I just wanted to say that this is an outstanding group of young people. And this afternoon, when we were working with them, I wasn't sure that they were going to come off the way they did, but you were fabulous, just superb.
Yes.
Every bit Martin Luther King scholars. So thank you. All right. Okay. I guess, is there anybody on the board who has a question or a comment? Well, I hope you all stay.
Go on the chat, so we'll have to circulate the chat.
Okay. So you're all welcome to stay. I know we are going to be just blowing you out of the water with all the wonderful and interesting things that we're going to talk about tonight. But at any rate, it's time now for the comments from citizens, and I'm going to read. I want to tell you right now, there are two, reading out loud and reading silently are two different skills. And I am so bad at reading out loud that I tell Mrs. Watson all the time, don't ask me to read the motions. But here I am filling in for Mrs. Watson, and I've got to do this. So bear with me while I read this out loud. This is the portion of the agenda where the board welcomes comments from citizens. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit written comments. Presentation should be related to matters pertinent to Groton, and board members can only ask questions in order to clarify the speaker's presentation, and we can't respond during the citizen comments from citizens portion. Citizens should state their name and address for the record. Mrs. Johnson, do we have anybody?
Yes, Thomas Frickman.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't sure. I had emailed Chairman Watson earlier, but she's not here, so I didn't know if she was going to read my comments to the minutes, but I could do that right now. So my name is Tom Frickman. I'm a parent of a 6th grader at Groton Middle School. I'm a high school teacher myself, and I currently I'm on the RTM and the RTM Education Committee. I'm writing in regards to the recent closures of Groton schools. Many parents, including myself, are becoming concerned with the continued closures and the impact on our kids. And I was hoping you guys could please address some of these questions. Could you explain what led to the 101 staff members out at one time? Are they all quarantined? My understanding is that staff must be quarantined if they're only within 6 feet of 15 minutes or more of someone who tests positive. Are staff isolating because of contact with schools? If so, what is the plan to minimize this? Can the district hire more subs? Can the district share staff between buildings to fill the void when teachers are out and isolate closures to one school or one grade level instead of district-wide? Can schools move students to the cafe, auditorium, LMC, etc. when teachers are out of school and use one person to cover those facilities? Of course, this is most likely easier for the upper levels. Are teachers teaching remotely while they're quarantined? Why is Groton Public Schools dealing with a staffing issue and other districts have yet to close all year? I realize the staff are working very hard to help our kids and I really commend them for their effort. However, many of us are very concerned that enough is not being done to keep our kids in school. I have heard from other parents that whole classes at the elementary level have had to isolate because of one student tested positive. For me, this doesn't make sense if the proper distancing protocols are being followed and the district is following their published COVID procedures for isolating. If our staff are being exposed during school and having to quarantine, the district should be looking to reduce these risks, which would lead to safer space for our staff and our students and not having to close schools as often as been done. Lastly, I just wanted to say that I'm also very disappointed in the multiple comments from board member Lee White referring to the 2021 school year as a wash. Our students, staff, and many of them have working very hard and have not given up on make this school year a success. White's comments, quite frankly, are an insult to our students, the staff, and the rest of the Board of Education. As a public school teacher myself, if I have said these words, then it would be time for me to retire. I appreciate the time. Thank you very much, and thank you for everything you guys are all doing.
Thank you, Mr. Frickman. You've posed some questions that are deep for us to think about. So is there anyone else who wants to speak? All right, then let's move on.
Were there
Yeah.
any in the chat? I'm just looking. to see.
I'm going to leave that to you.
I'm
I would
looking in
like,
the chat to see.
I was just wondering if Mrs. Austin was going to address some of these comments tonight or in an email to us and
So
the
one
concerns.
of the ideas I've come up with after speaking with several parents and receiving about 4 emails this weekend is to do a frequently asked question portion on our website and to also involve Steve Mansfield. One of the parents suggested that he either come to visit the Board of Ed or we do some kind of a forum with him so that we can better explain, you know, how these processes work and how we partner with Ledge Light Health District in determining this. And we did notice a high spike this past week, and it absolutely mirrored what was happening in the community. And Steve Mansfield did, when I spoke with him, did say that the community spread was definitely affecting the schools. So I am appreciative of the questions, and if parents are out there and would like to send me questions, they can send them directly to me on my email, and I can add them to this frequently asked questions. So I thank you, and I thank all of you have taken the time to give some suggestions and ideas. I work closely with the Learn superintendents and we compare notes all the time, and we are pretty much in sync. Smaller districts, you know, have different challenges than the larger districts, but some of the same. So we appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
I didn't ask for time, but can I just add one thing into there? This is Christine Cabral, a parent. So Susan and I spoke earlier today about the idea of full transparency and some type of a COVID dashboard on our webpage that includes detailed data about reported COVID cases, and so confirmed COVID cases and quarantine by school in the effort of full transparency in the decision-making process to close all schools. So I'd like to see some follow-up on that possibly happening.
Yeah, and I've already talked to our communications coordinator and we're on it. So we appreciate some of the links that you found, Christine. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great, thanks.
I see that Andrea Frickman would like to speak.
Hi, my name is Andrea Frickman, 61 Warren Avenue in Mystic. And I had submitted something to Chairman Watson too. I thought they'd get read into the record, so I guess I'll just read it myself. So I'm the mother of a 6th grade student at Groton Middle School, and I'm concerned with the change to the block scheduling that happened this year. It's coupled along with the number of school closures. with the quantity and quality of our child's instructional time with the core subjects. I sent them the district calendar and highlighted how many days my son has been in school since September, and the number of times in Q2 that he has seen one of his core teachers, his math, his English, his science, are 4 times in Q2. And it's just disappointing. I mean, so my questions are, has the board considered changing the model, given the lack of in-person instruction for the core subjects? He's enrolled in 11 classes at the middle school, 4 core and 7 others, which include band, chorus, fitness, Spanish, debate, coding, and marine biology. In a normal year, I'd be thrilled, but in a year of hybrid learning with only 4 days of instruction per week, perhaps a block scheduling at the middle school level just isn't appropriate. On weeks with a holiday, I wonder if you guys have considered using Wednesday as an in-person instruction day. So if school is closed on a Monday for a holiday, why not have cohort A go Tuesday, Wednesday? If it's closed on a Friday, why not have cohort A go Monday, Tuesday, cohort B go Wednesday, Thursday? I know you guys are doing a deep clean, but maybe just to get some more in-person time, could you do that after school, after 3 o'clock? And the other question is, for the normal Wednesdays, why can't they be remote learning days for the non-holiday weeks? Why are we doing just office hours? Because we are losing critical instruction time for our kids. So I think our teachers and our principals are working harder than ever. Our children are home trying to learn, and it's up to us to figure this out. So I'm just asking for an examination of the schedule and in-person time for core subjects to be examined, especially at the middle school level. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Frickman. We will be looking at all those things.
Yeah. I can't tell you how much important it is for us to hear from parents. It makes all the difference in the world if we receive information from parents. Since I no longer have a child in the Groton Public Schools, it's Mr. and Mrs. Freeman. I can't tell you and all the other people that email the board how important it is that you share your concerns. And I think the Wednesdays is an excellent idea. Thank you.
There's a member on the board who doesn't read and carefully take to heart what the parents are saying in the emails that we receive. Is there anyone else?
Just a question.
Go ahead, Liz.
Christine Cabral, could you please state for the record your address?
Sure, it's 66 Latham Street, Groton,
Okay,
Connecticut.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that information was in our record, and I appreciate it very much.
So if there are no other comments, and I don't want to miss anybody, but if there are no other comments, then we'll move to the student representative report. So that's A.
I do not think Zay is here anymore.
Well then, I guess we'll move to the superintendent's report.
Don't we have a second
another
student though?
Oh, is she here?
I honestly, I'm so sorry to say this, but I don't remember her name because we've only seen her once.
Allison.
Allison, that's it. Is Allison here?
I'm looking right now.
I think she'd say if she were.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I didn't see her come in.
All right, well, maybe we'll have a talk with our representatives to see what's happening. So that means that you're on, Mrs. Austin.
All right.
Superintendent Austin.
Well, I'm actually here to introduce Ms. Carmita Hodge, who has come to the board on many occasions to talk about the new course that's will be implemented in our school districts through the Connecticut State Department of Education. She's actually spearheaded and worked closely with the State Department, as she always does, and she's been to our curriculum meetings several times to talk a little bit about this course. And the course name, we found the official course name is African American Puerto Rican Latino Studies course. So Carmita, if you could just describe that we're really hoping to get this course started next year and being able to give the feedback to the state, who's been instrumental in producing the curriculum and instruction materials and resources, and they're looking for our feedback to them.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I was concerned that it was too long, so I have just highlighted the most important facts, okay? As Mrs. Alston has said, I've been involved with this or been attending all the meetings having to do with this new course since the conception of it. I sent a video, a documentary, which talks about the history of this course. And I'm hoping that you all had a chance to watch it. It's very inspirational. When I watched it yesterday, I just got chills while I was watching it because it dictates every step from our student speakers, including our MLK scholars, to the development of the curriculum, to the focus group that our students and teachers were involved in, and to our professional development and workshops that we all attended. So we'll share this document out with the video attached to it, and hopefully you'll find it just as inspiring as I have.
Ms. You can also put it up on the website too for families and kids to read.
Okay,
Yeah.
All righty. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but these were the different committees that were included according to the dictation of the Connecticut State Department of Education. The organization that led this effort was CERC, and they did a really good job. I've been contacting between Mr. Armstrong, I call him my best friend from the State Department, the Social Studies State Department, and the director of CERC. Every time I email them a question, they're always available. And if there's any question that the Board of Ed members or any parents or administrators would like me to ask, they get back to me right away. This is the course outline. The course is comprised of the African American and Black Studies the first semester, and these are the units, it's 6 units. It's chronothematic based, okay? So it's chronologically and based on themes. I have attached the curriculum, which provides a description of each of these units. And once I click on it, you'll see that I'm not going to say any teacher that teaches it, but it's very adaptable for any teachers that are very interested and feel led to teach this class. The next semester, and just to remind you that this is a 1-year elective that is to be taught concurrently. Okay, so the first semester will be African American Black, and the second semester will be Puerto Rican and Latino. The Puerto Rican and Latino course will be taught thematic based. And the reason is for that is that it builds from the first semester of the African American course. The idea is that history starts from Africa and the origins of the African American people. Just a few updates that I may not have had when I spoke with the curriculum committee a couple months ago. I have linked the scope and sequence. It's still in this draft form, and the scope and sequence, along with the completed curriculum and units for semester 1 and semester 2, should be shared with the public. They said no later than July, and yes, that is late. However, they feel that given what's included in the lesson, meaning the links, the actual activities, the resources that are needed to teach the class, that it still will be doable. And they like to remind that this is considered a quote pilot year. I know we don't like to use that phrase, but a field study year. So what we do throughout the 2021-2022 school year, we will provide feedback to CERC as to how we're doing and implementing the course. There will be professional development provided. Okay, at the district level, it's sort of really already been implemented. The curriculum coordinators, the administrators, and the Board of Ed have been made aware of this. Then later on in the year and throughout the 2023 school year, there'll be continuous feedback and networking. At the building level also, the teacher orientation is supposed to start between March and May. And then throughout the next 3 years, there's supposed to be annual Summer Institute where CERC will provide direct professional development and coaching through training. CERC will provide to each district a few things. Not only do they include Speakers Bureau, which are historians, curators to come to our schools.
Wow.
What they also provide is synchronous and asynchronous lessons. Given the format that we're teaching, they made sure that they provided those opportunities just in case we are to have snow days or for some unknown reason we're forced out of school. So whatever lessons that are within the curriculum can either be taught asynchronous or synchronous. There's interdisciplinary extension activities. We can work with the English department, science department, music department. There are book bundles. This is new. So there's no required text for this class. They believe that this class should be all inquiry-based, and whatever sources that are needed, we should be able to look to some major source, whether it's a historian, a book that was written by a historian. There are books by Paul Ortiz in there. There's Ibram Kendi included. There's various Henry Louis Gates is on the list. There's various historians' books that they are encouraging teachers to use with the students. Recommendations discussed, this includes, when I attended one of the workshops, there were recommendations that they wanted school districts to think about when implementing this course or offering this course. And one of them was to establish buy-in. And that's even before we write it up and put it in the program of studies. And that includes talking with the counseling department. And most of this information, these recommendations, are already discussed with our superintendent, with our building administrators, with our director of counseling, about how we should introduce the class. Where in the scheme of things should we place the class? How should we schedule the class? As a matter of fact, one thing that I'm still continuing to do, I've been in contact with Stanford Public Schools. I expected, Ms. Austin, that their department heads, their social studies department heads would call me back. And instead it was Natalie McClary who called me back.
Oh.
So I was surprised. I said, thank you. I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna make contact again tomorrow.
Good.
How they have implemented their African-American course and Latino course within their scheduling and how populated those courses are.
Great.
This course is, for right now, is only offered to the junior and seniors. At a later date, they're going to provide lessons specifically for the 9th through 10th grade, and hopefully the middle school and then on to the elementary school. We talked about the social studies teachers. We're still trying to determine which social studies teacher would teach this class, so look for that, more information about that. More recommendations, common experience, class composition, and climate culture. And I already mentioned this, what we're continuing to do is meet up with different districts who already have a African-American course or Latino. There's no school in the district that teaches an African-American course and African-American and Latino course concurrently. It's only half semester or semester for each course. And then the CSD's timeline, we're presently at January 15th. They would have submitted a final report to the Education Committee. Again, in July, we will receive the curriculum. And for the next 2 years, when the course is required to be offered in our school, which is 2022 to 2023 to 2024 to 2025, CSDE and CERC will take an audit throughout all the districts in Connecticut to assure that the course is offered. Just to put a pin in it, that the course is required to be offered. It doesn't mean that we have to, students have to sign up for it. It's not a required course as of yet. That is up to the district to determine whether the course is required at any time. Some things that the district may want to consider, or the next steps for the district. One of them is the course code. The CSD will determine the course code to be used. So our local schools don't have to worry about coming up with some type of course code. All districts have to use the same course title. So Ms. Austin, you shared a different title. So this was the title that was given as of yesterday, but we'll see.
Okay.
Once they pass out the curriculum, we'll see. Okay, book bundles, we just need to decide, are we going to purchase book bundles for each student or just buy one or whatever? And if we determine which book bundles to purchase.
So through Teachers College Reading Writing Workshop, K through 8, we've actually expanded our classroom libraries, and they all have social justice, diverse sets of books. So I can just see us expanding that through, and I know the high school has also, through Amy McKenna, been doing a lot of work around that. So buying books, this board is very supportive of, and I think would be wonderful for our kids.
And that's the first thing I thought about with the new program that Amy has been working on with
Sora, yeah.
Right, exactly, with the book bundles.
Yep.
For your information, there are links. Let me just show you this one. This includes the total, and then I'll be finished. The total, the complete, can't open it. The complete, but at your leisure, you can open this up and you will find the curriculum, the scope and sequence, and the proposed professional development days that will be provided by CERC.
So that's a big heavy lift that the state and CERC has provided us. Usually town by town, we're creating all of these things ourselves. So the efficiencies when the state took on the Common Core and started helping us to outline those standards and curriculum, but this work seems like they've taken it even a few steps further. So that's to see.
Even the format of the curriculum, it models our format of how we develop our curriculum templates.
Good. And it follows this board's, after their mission statement of teaching and learning, their real vision, belief statement of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we'll be talking about that later on. This is an actual action step towards that.
Right.
So I'm really pleased to see it.
Exactly. And I was telling the group earlier today, our department group, our department chair group, that, in the news, there's been talk about the Native American course.
Right.
That be a mandated course as well. So all these courses that the social studies department are gaining, we might think about increasing.
Well, the social studies department has been talking to me about that for 7 years. And so it would be nice to see, more choices for kids in that department.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you,
And
Ms.
more
Hodge.
credits, and more credits.
Right. Right.
Thank you, Ms. Hodge. And
Thank
I
you.
wonder if when we get the actual curriculum in July, if you might come to a COW and just do it in more in depth, so we really get a taste of what's going on.
Okay.
Are there any board members who want to, Mrs. Porter?
Ms. Hodge, could you do us a favor and share that PowerPoint with us so that we can click onto those links? Because I really, really want to see this. This looks extremely exciting, the most exciting thing I've seen in social studies curricula development in years. And I'm
sure will.
so happy.
On the front website, coming soon.
Yeah,
Yes.
I sure
Coming
will.
soon to Groton Public Schools. So
I sure will.
I want to
Thank you.
urge everybody, Mrs. Austin, you're going to make sure that video, that link that we got gets on our site, because really, I want to urge everybody to watch it. You know, you're going to hear the educators talk about what the educators talk about, but the ones that you want to listen to are the kids that talk about how important this is. I went to a workshop at the Academy maybe about 7 years ago, and it was on white privilege. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, what am I going to learn here? So I'm as free thinking as anybody could be. All right, okay, Andrea. A time to learn. So the opening statement was, so when you went to the bank for your mortgage, did you get it? Like, oh my heavens. And when you listen to these children talk, well, they're not children, they're young adults talk, you're going to have that same, I had that same feeling of, holy moly, I never thought of it that way. So it's really an eye opener for everybody to watch. Okay. Any questions, any comments?
I'm going to put the link in the chat for everyone.
thank you.
Okay.
Dr. Ackerman?
Yes.
I just wanted to thank Ms. Hodge. I know you've championed this curriculum for years, and I know it's taken the state a long time to develop the standards. I know you've been patiently, but you've been working furiously while you've been patient. And so we thank you for your dedication to this. And for those that are watching at home, Ms. Hodge is our Social Studies Department Chair, which covers middle school and high school.
Thank you, Mr. Whitloff.
Thank you, Jay. Okay. Anybody else?
Just as I wrap up my superintendent's report and we move on to business, I see from one of our teachers, Laura Quashny, that she thinks the curriculum sounds awesome, and she's thanking the board and me for always putting safety of students and teachers first. And I think I will hopefully be able to explain to families the thorough process we go through when we are counting cases, documenting cases of COVID, and finding out who are the contacts to ensure that people either isolate or quarantine properly so that the spread doesn't occur, you know, in the school as rampantly as it's happening outside the school. So, but I will address that. I'll address the question. So again, tell the community that I might even put up a section that you can just add to on the website to ask questions, and we will try to answer them and maybe do a focus group with Steve Mansfield following that, so we can better explain that and show the transparency on a graph or a grid the way Christine Cabral had suggested. So thank you for all of those who've gotten in touch with me, and I think we'll be ready to move on to the business report.
Hey everyone. You all have attachment number 1, which is our object code summary. I thought I'd briefly go through it just so we're all on the same page. On line 8, this is on the summary, page 1, line 8, total salaries. We are projecting to be somewhat under budget. There's some replacements of retired teachers that came in better than anticipated. And we've moved 2.5 positions off to the MSAP grant. So there's going to be a reduction there, as well as substitute expense is going to be down slightly this year due to some of that being covered by the CRF and the CARES Act. So overall, $397,000 below budget. Benefits is slightly over budget due to higher unemployment expenses, as well as some additional retirement severances that we had to pay. So that's going to be over budget by around $62,000. Purchase service and property services are pretty close to budget. They are going to be under by $14,000 and $8,000 respectively. Transportation, insurance, communications, tuition, we're projecting that to be under budget by about $157,000. That's being driven by less out-of-district students in the regular education, offset by increased costs for some of the buses that were previously covered by the MSAP grant that we're covering here. Under supplies, we're anticipating that to be over by $141,000. This is up primarily due to we're anticipating picking up the bid list items at the end of the year out of this year funds. And equipment up over budget, primarily due to an additional piece of equipment that we purchased for the combined middle high school campus to help with clearing of snow, which luckily we haven't had a lot of yet. And dues and fees slightly over budget by $2,000. So overall, we're anticipating having an unexpended balance of $294,161, and that's the bottom of page 1 on the very right-hand corner.
All right. Is that your entire presentation? Very well. And we'll move to Mr. Kilpatrick.
Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. The health insurance.
Oh, that's right.
Claims report. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. That is attachment 2. And it shows that for November, we're still, we're lagging behind our budget, 80% of claims, which is the same as what we had in October. Year to date, we're at 71% of claims. So this is consistent with the experience we've had over the past few months. But again, our insurance agent warns us that these postponed postponed treatments and other things that folks aren't doing right now they're more than likely will start to happen once the quarantine is lifted and vaccines start to be more available. That's it.
Very well, thank you. So Mr. Kilpatrick.
Yeah, good evening. So the first item on my list is to introduce Rick Norris, who's the town representative doing the building projects for us, the middle school and the 2 elementary.
Hi, I'd like to thank the board for allowing us to come present to you folks again. On this occasion, we're looking at obtaining approval for the furnitures, fixtures, and equipment for the 2 elementary schools. Although it says I'm presenting, I'm really not presenting. I'm just kind of the MC for the architect, who's Joe Banks from Perkins Eastman Associates, with his interior designer, Lindsay Halligan. They'll actually be showing you the budget. They'll have, if some of you may have seen the presentation that shows the various rooms and the furniture, where it's located, and those sorts of things, if you folks have questions along the way. We are at this point below the budget. We're scheduled to go to the state for their approval on the 4th of February. So that's why it was critical to have this presentation with you folks and hopefully gain approval. There's a couple recommendations, one for each school, that recommends approval of the plans, the project manual, and the budget. The project manual is similar to what you all saw for the middle school. It's a lot of paperwork. It does show the individual items, but our budget sheet also shows those individual items in the left-hand column. So,
Rick, we did send that out to all the board in the board packet, and so they have received all of that information ahead of time.
So we'd be happy, when Joe gets through with his, or even during the presentation, answer any questions you may have. This has been vetted, numerous times by before Susan, Dr. Grenier in that group, and Susan participated obviously in that, principals, teachers, what have you. So it's not something that was just sort of made up and fell out of the sky. It was looked at on numerous occasions and passed back and forth for input, if you will. It was provided to the architect to put this thing together. So I'll let Joe Banks take it from here. Like I said, he's our project manager from Perkins Eastman, and he and Lindsay can fill you in on the budgetary end of it and show you whatever else you may be interested in. So Joe?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Rick. And thanks everybody for your attention during this. First of all, can everyone see my screen that has the budget estimate up on it? Okay, good. So I thought I would just do a very, very brief cursory, like couple of minutes overview of the materials and so forth, just so you understand how they're organized, what the process is going to be when we go up to the state in early February for this. And then take a few minutes and see if there are any questions from you guys or concerns that we can answer. Does that sound like a reasonable plan?
Right, and they've had this, Joe, so I think that they might have some specific questions if they've had a chance to look through it, but I think giving them a broad brush overview would be good, and then we can see if there's questions. Thank you.
Susan, if I may, and Joe, both schools are nearly identical with the FFA.
Right.
The only differences are the special education thing. So if you keep that in mind, we may be able to save time by going through one document, and then Joe can show you the differences between Cutler versus Westside as far as the special education outfitting of those particular classrooms.
I'm just thinking about our time, Andrea.
Right. I wonder if, Joe, when you go to the state, I wonder if you could correct Cutler and Westside, because those are not the names of the elementary schools.
We understand that, Andrea,
Okay.
but for the state, we have to use the names that were on the grant.
Oh, I see. Oh,
So when we have our meetings, when we address the populace, the general population about the schools, we will use the proper names, but right now, to avoid confusion, we are required to use those names that were provided in the grant. So
thank you for
just kind of bear with us, if you will.
Absolutely, thank you.
Sure. Yeah, so I'll just do a brief overview of where we are in the process and talk about these three documents that we'll have up on the screen tonight. So as you guys know, we're well over halfway through construction of the actual buildings themselves. And so now is the time when the furniture package comes in, as we're anticipating occupying the building for this coming fall. Obviously, we need to have the furniture in there so that the teachers and staff and students and everyone can do what they need to do in the space. So we've been working on this for quite a while, and as Rick mentioned earlier, we've presented this multiple times. I think you guys have seen a previous presentation as well. And now it's down to the nitty-gritty. So these are actually the documents that we intend to bring up to the state on the 3rd and 4th of February, I believe, and go over with their reviewer. Now, what their reviewer is going to look for, it's a very long meeting in which she goes through sort of room by room, counts the chairs, makes sure that we've got the designation where we need to. It's a tedious meeting, but it's one that's necessary to make sure that they're purchasing and that the town's being reimbursed properly for all the equipment and furnishings that we're giving. So I did want to tell you that this is the first of 2 of these kinds of approvals that we'll be coming to you for. This is just for the furniture. There's going to be a somewhat later package that has to do with technology. So that will include laptops, charging carts, monitors, things of that nature that were not included either in the construction or in the furniture package. So that'll be coming, just so you understand that. So what we have is a package that's ready to go before the state. If the state reviews it and they don't have any problems with it, which we don't anticipate any big problems, they will then authorize the purchase of this equipment, which will happen through a state contract rather than by bidding for the most part. Once that happens, then we time that with how the building is being completed. We get that furniture in at the correct moment, not too early because we don't want it to get dirty, but not too late because we don't want it to be rushed at the end. So that's where we are. The 3 documents that I have to show you guys tonight and to answer any questions about, first of all, is the cost estimate, which is this thing that you're seeing on the screen right now. What this does is it lists the kind of equipment, it tags it, which you'll see in the plans as well, so that you can locate what piece of equipment or furniture is in the plans by looking at this key. Talks about the manufacturer, what the item actually is, the unit cost of the item, as well as how many of those items are anticipated in the school that we're buying. Last of all, we have the column whether it's eligible or ineligible. Now, the state has a very specific set of rules as to what it considers eligible and what it considers ineligible. And I won't go into all of those things now, but just so you guys know, we're fighting for eligibility on anything that we can reasonably say is eligible. And last is the state contract number, as well as the dealer who will be administrating those. Again, just very briefly, the bottom line is this, highlighted on my screen, which is a tad under what we had anticipated. And Rick and Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think.
Yeah, we did have, we do have budgeted $1 million for FF&E. Right now, we're under that amount. I might also mention that it has been to the Permanent School Building Committee for their approval. So at the end of this exercise, we'll be coming around looking for signatures from particularly the superintendent and the chair of the Board of Education and all the local AHJs and all that sort of stuff, which this gives us almost a week, which is kind of a tough thing to get everybody to sign where they need to sign. So as Joe said, I think they put a good budget together. Everything's going to be on state contract. We buy it through the town's purchasing department. It makes it easy for us, and it makes it easy for the state to approve. We did look at external equipment for Sam. Not only does it include the furniture, but it also includes some maintenance items for Sam, both external and internal to the building. So I think the package is well put together, and I guess if people have questions about this portion, please feel free to ask.
Well, hearing none.
Okay.
Well, Andrea, I do have a
Yes.
quick question.
Sure.
What is the difference in the total between Cutler and West Side? Is it just because we're getting a higher reimbursement for the
No.
Cutler?
No, it has to do with the ADA difference in the classrooms. There's some,
Okay.
there's a temporary space or walling off, if you will, for a timeout area in one of the schools where there's not in the other. So that's a little bit more expensive. So there is a slight difference between the two schools.
Okay. And I had a quick question about the what's ordered for the cafeteria.
Yeah.
When you look at the cafeteria and performance area, maybe it's because of COVID or something, but when I look at these tables where the benches, where it's benches, and the children would have to like be sitting like right next to each other, as opposed to the ones with the seats where you could do like every other student or whatever. I was just curious why you have a combination.
Yeah, I can answer that. So what I want to show you guys, because it's not intuitively obvious. So this is one way for the cafeteria to be set up. So these are folding tables. One of the reasons for that is it makes it very easy for Sam and his crew to sort of, fold them up, do cleaning, and quickly put them back. And there's a couple different varieties. You see this one here, which is the round, which has bench seating, as well as the more elongated one. Now you see these missing pieces here. Those are for handicapped seating.
Yes.
And those are mandated. There is another arrangement because we're also providing chairs for performance. And that is more of this arrangement here. So with the furniture that's being provided with these two things, there's certainly more configurations that are possible than just these two, but you'll have chairs as well as these sort of tables. Does that answer your question, Ms. Volkman?
No, I wanted to know why you didn't do it all with chairs, which I think are more comfortable than the ones where the children have to slide in and be right next to each other. So why did you combine the two different types of tables?
Those were discussed, at the various meetings with the Groton Public Schools and the superintendent. Those, it looked like a variety of different seating arrangements. Of course, at that time when this design was put together, COVID was barely even on the horizon.
Right.
So maybe that consideration should have, but wasn't at that particular time. I mean, at now, with the size of the tables, there may be 2 kids on one bench if they practice their separation, or if you only have half a class, which I understand you're not even serving lunches in the cafeteria now.
Well, and we've added plexiglass at the middle school, so we've done some transitions there. So.
And we also at the middle school, Sam can tell you that, I mean, you had some separators on the table and that sort of thing. Maybe that's something that has to be done or what have you at this point. We are talking about furniture not being installed until May, June, July timeframe. God willing, this will be, the bigger part of this will be over at that particular time. So that's kind of the thought behind that at this point.
So Rick, are you saying that this is a done deal and you can't rethink that?
Well, I'd have to go back and get a change, and we'd have to look at the cost. And yes, it can be rethought, of course. If you want us to do
also,
that.
Rick, that from a practical standpoint regarding the fold-up tables versus chairs around tables, when you have a performance space and a multi-use space here, and the custodians need to get that room cleaned and set up for the next event that's going to take place, these tables make much more sense. And I really appreciate the round tables because, and I think, I don't know which building, I guess this would be in both buildings, but I think Jamie Giordano could tell you that cafeterias are very loud, and actually those round tables actually reduce the noise in a cafeteria. So I think it'll work for us in many different ways.
Do you have actual pictures of the tables that they can see?
Yes, he does.
Yes.
So, and from what I understand, the seats are actually attached to those elongated tables, the way I understood it.
Yeah, they are.
So Joe does have a picture he could show you of each of those.
Yeah.
I like the idea of round tables because they're socially much more beneficial. I'm just worried about the benches that are attached to them and whether we could have round tables with chairs instead. But I hear Sam's point as well.
They would again need to be attached somehow, probably.
Right.
Just for being able to clear the room to set up in an hour or so for a concert or whatever you have at night.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a practical consideration, as Sam had said.
So these are the two, we call these IDS sheets for these. They identify and provide a little more information on all these. This is the roundish table with 4 benches, and this is the elongated table.
So the tables are 5 feet in diameter, the round ones, which gives you 15.5 feet around the outside. Don't know.
And you couldn't find round tables that had chairs attached as they were on the oval.
The recommendation was to not have, to have chairs attached. I guess we could look into that.
Something to, if you could do it for the same cost, that would be something to think about.
Yeah.
I think we're hearing, though, the cost of the labor could, they only have a certain amount of time in between. And
Right. I get it. I understand that. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, so if you have chairs attached, I don't know, Joe, we could take a quick look at it, get back to you and let you know, I would guess. So I don't know if they have anything like this that's round.
One good thing about benches is that it cuts down on the scraping of chairs across the floor. It makes for a quieter
Oh, yeah.
dining room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But these chairs are stationary, the ones
Right.
that
Yeah,
individual,
these-
they don't scrape.
Yeah, these seats are attached to the table.
Yeah.
Right.
Rick, it's Liz.
Yes.
You have already asked the teachers and the administrators, right,
Yes,
about these
yes.
configurations, right?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, because honestly, this is my opinion, I defer to their judgment. They're the ones that are going to be dealing with this every single day. So, from my point of view, I think what you've got is great.
Yes. Well, and to your point, Jamie Giordano, who's going to be one of the principals over at Thames River Magnet School, sits on the Permanent School Building Committee, and is very familiar with this. Stephen Wheeler's been brought in a little bit later, but folks who were brought in during the process to look at this, administrators, as well as principals, vice principals, that sort of thing. So,
Okay, my question is answered, and I appreciate, Liz, I appreciate that input. So, are we ready to go on?
No, Andrea, I've got a question.
Okay.
Yeah, following up on that question before, whether the staff was consulted, I have just a couple. The first would be the custodial staff, which often has to move things around for events, clean up, et cetera. Have they been consulted regarding the equipment?
Sam has been alongside us with this project from day one. So he's
okay.
familiar with the facilities as far as facility maintenance and that sort of thing. He can speak for himself, of course, but we have tried to do this as a coordinated effort with no one working in a vacuum, if you will.
Okay, I can just imagine somebody going, well, nobody asked us as we're moving things around.
Well, we'll hear that anyway. So.
Yeah, I know. The second question, and in anticipation that someone's going to ask this, and maybe they already have, we're closing down schools, we're building new schools. Obviously, everybody likes new. We've all had experience with sitting, and when we've been in school, with looking at things that look like they're 100 years old, and doesn't everybody like new? So is there anything from the existing schools that could be reused in these buildings?
Right now, the state pretty much, as far as furniture, fixtures, equipment, they require a whole new suite, if you will.
I see.
There are things that the principals have pointed out, and in fact, our moving guru has a meeting with the principals, I think, on Thursday again, to go through their schools. But there are some specialty items, like these little wooden kitchens that are in pre-K and K, and those sorts of things will come over. But the rest of the furniture will be replaced with the new furniture.
And what do we do with the old stuff?
We from the town have to auction it off as excess equipment. We did that through the middle school. We were kind of a rush process because those buildings had to come down. We do have a little bit more time here with the elementary schools because there's no plan to demolish them right away. So we do have a little bit longer, and maybe we can do a little bit better job of either getting things donated, sold, turned to other uses in the town or the Board of Ed or what have you. From what I understand, the Board of Ed or the Groton Public Schools did take quite a number of things out of the other two middle schools for use on other schools, plus our library benefited, some of the other departments in town benefited from some of that material that was in the middle schools that closed.
My
Not
last
to mention having an awesome yard sale.
Yeah.
My last question may be very difficult to answer, especially when you're buying new things and we haven't dealt with the vendors. I mentioned before, we've all sat at a 100-year-old desk or seemingly 100-year-old desk and chairs in our schools. And while that's amusing, there's something to be said for stuff that lasts. And equipment that's going to be in the hands of children, however gentle they are, they'll still be in the hands of children. Do we have an idea of how, since some of these things are pretty darn pricey, do we have any idea that, should we have an expectation that this equipment is going to be hanging around for a while? what's the life
Yes.
cycle?
And Joe may be able to answer that better, but there's a determination that the state, when they look at this stuff, it has to be durable and last for a certain period of time. Joe, if you want to provide any more information on that, please.
Sure, yeah. So we have, everything that we've specified does have a warranty. Now, it doesn't mean that something isn't going to break or there isn't going to be a skid that falls off every now and again. But generally speaking, they're covered by a warranty. So the SAM and the district is covered for those repairs. You're right. It's not like the furniture of 100 years ago, for sure. But we've gone through and we've made every effort to make sure that everything that's being bought is durable. I will also say that the stuff that's listed on state contract by the state, they have interest in making sure that it's durable as well, because they know this is a 30-year bond for the most part that's covering this stuff. They want to make sure that it lasts that whole time.
Yeah, and there is a requirement for the project. There's a minimum of 20 years plus. So, you know, it's they do look at that critically. We had a couple of items that they were asking about, some soft furniture, if you will, and we have to provide some additional information to the state on those things to show the durability, if you will.
Right, and if the new furniture, cafeteria furniture, for instance, is as durable as what is in Claude Chester School and the other elementary schools presently, that will be at least 60 years old, because those same tables were there when I went to Claude Chester School.
They still have your initials in them, Sam. Oh.
I think that's what Dean was talking about.
Yeah.
They did last a long
Maybe we should
time.
keep those.
Okay,
I just have one more point, Andrea.
Yes.
Usually the board received this information a little sooner. So I guess I don't think I'll be involved with another building, of our schools again. But, I think the board could have appreciated this information earlier.
Yep, I understand.
So in the future, I know it's very difficult with our meetings right now, but when it does say on the initial May 8th, 2020, it would have been nice if we could have received this information a little sooner and had a little more time. But I do understand.
I understand that, Rita. We did actually this budget and things were just put together in the last few weeks, but we are suffering like everybody else does. If you have an in-person meeting, you get a lot done. When you're on Zoom all the time, you don't get quite so much done. So we will. Technology, I had that on my list to make sure we get that to you sooner rather than later, so you have a little more time to look at it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Rick, I just wanted to note that I've been to many of the meetings of the Permanent School Building Committee, and I've listened to the conversation, and it is always deep and very relevant.
Yeah, we're fortunate with the members there. There were some that were involved in the last school project. We have new ones. We appreciate those that work for the school system because they provide a different viewpoint, which is helpful for all of us. So that mixture is really good, and they're really, really thoughtful and ask good questions at those meetings. So.
Agree. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rick, and thank you, Joe. So we're going to move on to the air quality.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next item is the Fuss and O'Neill report, which I wasn't able to get out into the packets on Friday. I have been trying to get the final copy of the report from Fuss and O'Neill for some time, and I finally got it on Friday. The report that I had actually had draft written across the front of it in a watermark. And so my technicians, my maintenance coordinator and I went through the reports today and compared them with the draft report, and they are identical. So it was just a matter of getting those. I know that prior to Dr. Grenier's departure that we had planned on going to the facilities committee with this report first before we presented it and put it on the website. However, I'm going to give you a brief overview of what the report contains, and then I'm hoping that at the next facilities committee I can go over it with a facilities committee, and in the meantime get it uploaded onto the website, and maybe everybody can get a look at it. And then at our next meeting, maybe somebody might have some more in detail questions about it. The report from Fuss and O'Neill actually contains 4 different parts. They came to all of our schools, visited all of our schools, and looked at all of the HVAC equipment throughout the schools, along with some of the rooms within the building, because part of their charge was to, from the state, was to determine what would make good nursing or the separated rooms for COVID in the classrooms, are separate from the nurses station, so that there is a separate room in each building that is separate from the nurses station in case somebody were determined to have COVID or suspected of having COVID. And so all of those rooms have been determined to and approved by the Fuss and O'Neill report. So
Are those negative pressure rooms?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well, yes. We also have buildings that have different systems. So the high school, the new section of the high school, Northeast and Catherine Kolnaski have similar systems. Claude Chester, SB Butler, and the admin building have systems that are similar to each other. And of course, Mary Morrison and Charles Barnum have a different type of system that is similar to each of those 2 schools. So those things are pointed out in our checklist, and tells you whether those parts are part of the system or not. So the report from Fuss and O'Neill actually consists of the 4 parts. So there's 3 different checklists and then an appendix to that. And so checklist number 1 is the general district recommendations. So this is determining the readiness of the schools to open. Checklist 2 is facility checks prior to the start of school. So those tells us what to do prior to the start of classes at the beginning of the school year. And checklist 3 is HVAC operations during the academic year, telling us what to do. Just to mention one of the things briefly here is we actually have a lot more fresh air coming into the buildings that are capable of doing that as required by the state, or recommended by the state, not required, but recommended by the state. And so that's what the fresh air actually comes on an hour before school and 2 hours after, so that it gives it a good flushing of the air. And of course, it has more air coming in during the day as well. So those things are all controlled by our technician, Jamie Anderson, through the DDC, which is the computerized system that operates our HVAC systems. And of course, Appendix A, which is routine preventative maintenance items that need to be checked throughout the year. So those are the 4 areas that are covered. So if I could get the opportunity to go to the facilities committee with this, go over this in more detail with them. In the meantime, I'll have it posted on the website, and we can probably send you through email. I know that Fuss and O'Neill had some trouble getting these to us because there was too many pages to send in one email. It took a while to get it, so I'll have Robin figure out how we can get it to you so you can see it in advance of those meetings.
Are there any questions for Mr. Kilpatrick? All right, then we'll move on to the committee
Excuse
report.
me, Andrea, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Sam, did they give you like a sense about, the quality of the air in our schools? Do you have a sense of what their findings are that you could share?
Well, there are no findings of what the air is like in the buildings. It's just recommendations regarding how much fresh air we need to pump into the buildings, and how many air exchanges we need per hour, so on and so forth.
Okay.
I can tell you that we've gone through all of the checklists, and we have accomplished everything on the checklist. I know that a lot of districts had to hire outside contractors to come in and do the commissioning. We actually have technicians with on our staff that are able to do this. So we're able to accomplish that inside. So
Thank you, Sam.
Are there any other questions? Okay, then we'll move to the committee reports. So policy, is Lee here?
Yes, we met earlier this month. We spent the entire meeting, and we will talk about the second reading of the harassment materials. We will talk about that when we go to that. Thank you.
Jane, curriculum?
I have nothing right now.
Finance, Jay, finance and facilities?
Yes, we did not meet in January. We have been in budget sessions, as we all know. So I assume we'll be meeting next month.
Very good. Learn, Rita?
Yes, Learn at our meeting last month, actually it was this month, Mr. Michael Belden, who is our finance officer, he presented the fiscal state of the agency. We also had a discussion about the teacher residency program, which Groton is going to participate in. It's a wonderful program that will give paraprofessionals a chance to earn their teaching degrees, those that have had 4 years of college. And there's going to be a renovation and an extension of the Ocean Avenue Learning Academy. It'll have a second floor because there's such a demand to increase the capacity to about 100 students. So there's going to be a $10 million renovation, and the state will reimburse by 80%. And there was also a report that all the school nursing staffs, which I'm sure ours have received their vaccinations, and looking forward to the teachers receiving them hopefully by March. So our students could get back to school. Thank you.
Thank you. In terms of the town council, the RTM and the city council, we met on January 5th or 6th, I'm sorry. And the town council wasn't there. The city council had no report, but the RTM had two of things that were of particular interest to me anyway. One is was the purchase of land for the Groton Sale Foundation, but the other one was they're thinking about bringing on a student liaison like we have a Zave, and
Great.
Yes, so that would be a wonderful thing. And we met with the Groton Board of Ed and the AGSA and the GEA, and we talked at length about the conditions that we're in and what are we going to do about it. It was a rich conversation. So, Groton Scholarship. Lee?
Sorry, yes, I'm sorry. We met in January. Now the word begins when people begin to read applications. There was a question, and it was an interesting question, about whether parents are supposed to sign if students want to go for an application. I had a hard time finding out the information because as long as they're not 18 years old, no one was really sure. But I think in the past, when they have all been on print, the parents have had to sign for the application. So I would assume now that they're doing them online, the parents will also need to do that. And now I think that the applications are due in early February, and now people begin to read the applications. That's it.
Jay, Fields and Streams here.
So the Athletic Fields Task Force presented to the Town Council a couple of weeks ago their report. I did send copies to each of you in case you want to look at the report or had any questions. Now the question is going to be, it's a large recommendation. So are they going to go for a bond? Is there any credit left in the town to go for a bond that large? Or are they going to do CIPs, which would probably mean that this project would take 20 years. So that's now in the hands of the town council. However, we did meet again last Thursday to go over that meeting because the town council wants to prioritize the items on the list. And I did remind them that the board approved 2 CIPs last fall for lights on the Groton Middle School synthetic field, and also on the other field at the middle school, so that it could be utilized much more, if we had those lights there. It was explained at the meeting that the reason that the synthetic field didn't get its lights is that the environmental group in Groton raised concerns about the field having crumb rubber. And we were told by someone from Parks and Rec that they had to switch out a different base for that. Though I see Rick shaking his head. They did not use crumb rubber, and they claim that that ate up all the money that was supposed to be used for the light.
If I may, Madam Chair, that's not correct.
Okay.
Because the state would not fund lights for that field. It's considered a middle school field. We're lucky we got the turf field there at the size we got it when we went to the state, because it comes out of the state pocketbook for construction of fields along with the schools.
Okay.
So the lights really had nothing to do with this project, if you will.
Okay.
And they couldn't be included because of the state requirements.
Yeah.
Similar to an auditorium. The state wouldn't pay for an auditorium, so we looked at alternate methods like the black box theater and sharing between the high school and other facilities and the middle school.
Okay.
So I just like to correct that, Jay.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, because one thing I've noticed is being on this committee for a year is the amount of misinformation, disinformation is mind-boggling. And in terms of the whole history of the baseball field, in terms of the history of everything to do with athletic fields in town. And so I'm glad we got it from you, because it was also, they were holding out hope that there'd be money left in the Groton Middle School budget, but it sounds to me like that would be precluded from being used for that. However, we do have 2 CIPs going to the town council, so I'm hopeful that at least one of them will be approved.
And I can address that real quick too, Jay. We did do very well with the project. And I can tell you, we didn't spend the owner's contingency at all. So we're coming in under, probably $5 million under, and at least $1 million or so under the estimate for the construction portion. So we have done very well. I have talked with the bonding attorney. So if those kind of changes are requested, the Permanent School Building Committee could recommend them to the Board of Ed. The Board of Ed could request that of the town council. The council would have to reappropriate the money subject to the bonding attorney's approval, because the bond was written for a certain amount. And I passed all that on to the previous superintendent, but you may have not gotten all that information, Susan. So any questions like that or fields, please, we're advocates of fields, as you've seen over at the middle school. I mean, it's a tremendous campus. And I don't know that you could find one like that in the rest of the state. But we also have an opportunity at the 2 elementary schools where right now I'm going to ask the question if we could sod those fields so they would be playable sooner rather than later, and they would have a better quality grass. We are looking at irrigating those 2 fields right now too. I haven't got the final costs on that. So we're trying to support Groton Public Schools, obviously, but we're also looking at the broader community use of those facilities, which of course are under the Board of Ed's control at this point and forever. So just to provide you some additional information on fields and where we think we're going with some of that stuff.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. And I'm personally very glad to hear that it came in that far under budget. That's really good news for the town.
Yeah.
So great job. Okay. And I see you're still at work. When do you go home?
Well, whenever the spirit moves me, kind of thing.
Thank you, Rick.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
thank you. And Rick, I want that little Woody station wagon behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, you like that? I get more comments on that. It's a 2006, you know, I mean, but it's my pickup truck too, you know, so.
Okay, so let's go on to the consent agenda. And I have a question for Mrs. Johnson. And that is, we've got approval of 6 different minutes here. Can we do this all in one?
You have to, that's how it's done now.
Oh, well then, okay.
You approve everything under that item.
All, I thought, except the gifts, I think that usually.
No.
That's part of it.
That's all part of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So shall I read the gifts now?
No, after the approval.
All right, okay. So the approval of the minutes of December 14th of the special meeting, also December 14th at 6:45.
It's just the complete consent agenda.
That's all I
That's
have
what-
to say.
That's all
That's
you
all
have.
you
Oh, Lord, I don't have to read anything. Okay.
So I move that we accept the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion has passed. Okay, everybody else help me through this now. So now comes the reading of the gifts. Okay. Mary Morrison Elementary School received an anonymous donation of $1,000, and we're grateful for that. ExxonMobil Corporation, on behalf of Mystic Oil Company and its 2 local Mystic locations, Mystic Service Station and Quickies Mobile RMP, have made 2 donations of $500 to SB Butler Elementary School to be used for maintenance and support of its math and science programs. Wonderful. Okay.
Thank you.
So that's all included in the
Yep.
motion? Okay, now we go to old business.
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Getting better at this. Okay.
Do you want me to
so-
read the first one, Andrea?
Well, she has to tell you.
I mean, I'm just volunteering.
Don't get, my
So-
father-in-law used to say to my mother-in-law, "You're getting ahead of yourself, Elder." So you're getting ahead of yourself. So,
Okay.
Mrs. Porter, would you be willing to read the motion for policy P4, P4118.112, sexual harassment?
Yes, I would love to, Dr. Ackerman. I make a motion to approve policy P4118.112, sexual harassment, as a second reading.
Do I have a second?
Second. I'll second that.
Mrs. Volkman, is there any discussion? All in favor? Say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? Motion approved, okay. So, Mrs. Volkman.
Yes.
Dr.
Oh.
Ackerman,
Yes.
Dean had actually raised his hand for
Oh,
the
I didn't see it.
discussion. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I meant to speak as well, but that's okay. I think my concerns are on the record.
Okay. I'm sorry, Dean, I did not see that.
It happens when you do all the routine businesses. Everything is unanimous. Every once in a while, there's a guy like me that says no.
Okay, so Mrs. Johnson, do we go back?
Clarification, Dean, are you a no vote or a yes vote?
Oh, no, I'm a no vote.
Thank you.
Okay, but the motion still passes.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right. I don't know, Mark, I don't know how we're going to do that because I don't, Dean is not in my, so maybe if anybody sees that somebody has a hand up and I don't see it, let me know. Okay. So,
I request that the people that aren't voting blank out their cameras. In the lower right, it says stop video.
but I don't know that, I only have 6 people across the top of my screen, so I don't know that that would help.
They could also raise their hand on the participation or reactions, and that way you can count them up.
Yeah, and, but if I can't see them, somebody's gonna have to.
Right.
The hand is
We'll
up.
tell you, Andrea, we'll tell you.
Very well, thank you. Okay, so, the second motion Do I, will somebody,
I'll read.
you'll read, thank you.
Yes. To approve policy P5145.5, sexual harassment as a second reading.
Second.
So Rosemary has seconded. Is there any discussion? Dean, do you have discussion?
I can go over what I mentioned the last time at the first reading. I have.
Actually, I would like to tell you, Dean, that the last policy meeting, which was a couple weeks ago, we had our counselor who actually wrote it with other people, and that we had asked you to come to the meeting.
I'm sorry,
and bring up your ideas, but
I didn't catch that. But nevertheless, my objections are the same. I suspect had I gone to the meeting, I don't think I would have convinced Bertram Moses the other way, and I don't think they would have convinced me to back off mine. And you don't need my vote anyway. You're going to pass it. So.
Well, and I think we did take into consideration a couple of your suggestions, Dean, and make those changes. And then the other two, we weren't legally able to. So she put that all in her memo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So my chief objection has to do with the burden of proof. Is that the one you're saying you're legally unable to go with, or?
You can call Ms. Dugas if you would like to talk to her about it.
Okay.
We're doing that as we normally do business in schools. So that's the way we do it, even for expulsions. So we're really tied into doing it that way for this.
I would argue that expulsions and suspensions may also be due for a higher burden of proof, but that's another discussion.
Yeah, well, yeah.
All right. So is there any other discussion?
No, but I did not get notification of the scheduling of the meeting and would like to from now on if possible.
Of the policy meeting? Is that? Okay, well, we'll make sure that happens.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor of?
Can I just ask who was the second to my motion?
Rosemary.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Andrea, go for it.
Yep. Thank you, Liz. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Are you opposed?
I am opposed, yes.
Okay.
For the
Abstained?
reasons previously stated.
Yes. Abstained? Okay. How many did we have, Mrs. Jones?
Motion passed.
Thank you. Okay.
7-1.
Ah, all right. So now is new business. So discussion and possible action regarding the approval of Susan Austin as an authorized signer of ED .9, I think it's .-099 agreement for child nutrition programs to sign claims for reimbursement. That's just for fun. Can I have someone read the motion? Liz, you want to do that?
I would do that.
Oh, all right.
Would you like me to?
Absolutely.
This is Lee, to approve Susan Austin as an authorized signer of the ED-099 agreement for child nutrition programs and to sign claims for reimbursement.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is Liz. Discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes, okay. Right, would you be willing, Rita, to read the motion for the one card, one community?
Sure. Motion to approve the one card, one community initiative.
Second.
Dr.
Discussion? Yes,
So
discussion.
I just wanted to thank, I see that Ms. Franco's on the call tonight. I want to thank her for shepherding this through. I think this is going to be a great benefit to our students to be able to share the Groton Library's materials with all the students. This project was first brought to us by Betty Ann Ryder in 2017. And I'm so glad that it's finally made it to fruition.
Wow.
And Amy McKenna too, having coordination 6 through 12. This is one of the many, many things she's accomplished, working closely with us. So,
Thank
and
you,
they're
Amy.
quite the team, she and Jessa. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Jessa.
And I want to say that I was a hard sell on this. And
You
sold.
were.
I was, and you sold me. Okay,
I think
so,
we made it even better because we did our homework.
right, very good. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. All right, let's see.
Andrea, may I ask the favor of the honor of reading this motion?
I would love to give you the honor of that.
Thank you. Carmita Hodge, are you still on? All right.
Oh, that one.
Yes.
I am,
All right.
yes.
I make a motion to approve the African American Latino Studies course, but I want to give it the right title. So Carmita, would you please tell us what the correct title is? So we need to make an addendum to this. So the correct title, please.
So as of yesterday, is African American / Black and Puerto Rican / Latino Studies.
So Ms. Joan, what do we need to do to make sure
I'm
that
going to
this?
put that as the title for the course.
Okay. So to approve this.
Do I have a second?
Down to Joan, we'll share our notes.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Okay, second by Mrs. Volkman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes, yes.
Woohoo!
Well done. Okay.
And thank you for that honor, Dr. Ackerman.
You're welcome. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you,
So
board members.
we can't thank you enough, Ms. Hodge. So
Yes.
Mr. Whiteloff, would you mind reading? Would you be willing to? I'm trying to be Mrs. Watson here. Would you be willing to read the next motion?
Certainly.
Or to make the next motion?
I move to approve the revision to the Board of Education goal statement.
Second.
Second by Rosemary. Is there discussion?
Only that it's about time.
Oh. All
Do
in
you
favor?
think, would someone like to read it? We have it in our packet.
Yeah. So Rita,
Jay,
why don't
do
you
you
read it?
Okay.
Never say anything.
Yes. So this is wonderful that we're going to be adding this on to our goals and mission statement. Groton Public School embraces policies and practices that ensure that all people, especially those who have been historically marginalized based on race, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, gender, age, social economic status, immigrant status, educational status, or religion, have equitable opportunities. We acknowledge that systems of racial and economic injustice exist in our nation and community. However, as educators, we too recognize that we have the power to dismantle the practices, policies, and systems that perpetuate inequalities. Thus, an integral component of the Groton Public Schools mission is to cultivate an environment of diversity, equity, and inclusiveness. As a response, we strive to foster culturally responsive teaching and learning practices to ensure all groups feel valued, actively engaged, and empowered.
Now,
beautiful.
That is the DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion statement that we are adopting to put. We will publish that at the bottom of our Board of Admission statement. But the one that we are changing,
the goals.
Yes. So would you read that?
Yes, the board goals is going to include, in a richness of cultures and with a respect for all, we will provide dynamic, rigorous curriculum, ensure effective and engaging instruction, embrace excellent learning environment.
That's really the motion. All right.
Okay.
Is there, thank you for doing that. Is there is there any discussion? Very well. All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Very good. Done.
It's beautiful.
Yep, it is.
Well done, DEI.
Yep.
Yes.
And well done, Groton Public Schools.
And,
Oh,
thank you, Dr. Ackerman, for composing that.
Yes.
you mean the top one? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for recognizing that. Thank you. And thank you for the work that you did, Jay, because you were behind
Yeah.
all of this. Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
but you came up with just the right wording, and thanks to our DEI committee for the longer statement that will also become part of our.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that we manifested that with our 5 Martin Luther King scholars, because the community came together to do that.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay. So now it's, and this one I see, now I'm not sure. I guess we have to leave it the way, we talked about it before, Jay and I talked about it before, because it says Cutler and West Side, and we know that that's not what it's going to be. But now I asked that question because it has to be done with Cutler and West Side according to the state, because that's what went to it.
So we added just in parentheses what we've named it. So I think we can say the whole thing, referring to the site and then the name. I think you can add all of that in. Yeah.
Except we accidentally
Does it
swapped them.
match?
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
swap them though. Cutler should be the Mystic River Magnet School.
Oh,
I didn't even
Yeah.
see that.
yeah.
So whoever reads those has to be careful.
Right.
So Jay, why don't you do
that?
Jay, why don't you do the both of them?
All right, well, me and my big mouth.
We ought to get together.
All right, well, I move we approve the budget plans and manual for furniture, fixtures, and equipment for the Cutler site, now known as Mystic River Magnet School.
Perfect.
Second.
Okay, who was that? The second, Liz, okay. Discussion? All right. All those who approve?
Aye.
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Okay, motion has passed. Jay, you're on again.
Okay, I move we approve the budget plans and manual for furniture, fixtures, and equipment for the former West Side site, now known as Thames River Magnet School.
Second?
Second.
Okay, Rita seconded, okay. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Oh,
Second. My
okay.
apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Who was seconded?
I did. Rita, Joan.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me start again. In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. All right.
I'd
Motion
like
is
to
I
thank the
Yeah.
board, but also there should be a comma after plans or before plans. Because there's 3 items, budgets, plans.
Oh, that's
and-
right.
Yeah.
Oh, did I miss that?
So I do appreciate it. We'll see you in a month with technology. And then again, I appreciate the board's indulgence in getting this approved for us so we can move forward with the state.
Go get him, Rick.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
And
So
I
now
think we should start referring to them as MR, MS, and TRMS. So we don't have to say the whole long names, just like the Multicultural Magnet School in New London.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on to letters and communication by the board. So let's see. I see Rita. Rita, do you?
Oh, you want me to start? Sure. I wanted to acknowledge Susan Austin had sent us this about the 9th grade student who was a winner of Senator Murphy's Martin Luther King essay contest. Her name is Ciara Bass, and it's for the 2nd Congressional District. So they were, submitted, and she won, and she was a 9th grade student at Fitch. So I think she should be acknowledged and congratulated. So they
Thank
said,
you.
unfortunately, they can't, they usually are invited to a breakfast with him, all the different winners, but this year they're gonna try doing something else, maybe later on. And I wanted to say how much I enjoyed the Martin Luther King ecumenical service. That was just phenomenal. And it just really was just the most moving ceremony. So thank you so much for that. And I appreciate all the letters from the public that we receive. Their comments are really noteworthy and really help us to understand, you know, what is really going on in the schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Liz.
I
Liz.
would, yes, dear. I wanted to acknowledge Ms. Hodge for taking a chance. And she is, her students are competing for the first time since 2008 at Connecticut History Day in May. And I am thrilled because it was the last time we went there was with me a long time ago. And Carmita, your students are leading the charge. And so I really wanted to say, I appreciate that. All of you should have received an email from me as well with my other hat that I wear. But I just wanted to say, there are great things happening in Groton, even during these difficult conditions.
Yeah.
And I just am so grateful to all the teachers and to people who have just stepped up to the plate and said, you know, nothing's going to get us down. And I'm very proud. So Carmita, well done. Your kids are a testament to looking to strive for excellence. And it's really heartening for me.
Thank you. Can I just say one of our board members' son, James, is going to be part of that. So that group, yeah. So yeah, they're doing a great job. This is our first time doing it, like Ms. Porter said, but well, my first time doing it. But they're just moving on, and I'm just so proud of them, really. So thank you for your support.
Well, James wants to be a history teacher, so I think I know where he got his inspiration. So, speaking of James, Jay?
Yes. So I also enjoyed the MLK Ecumenical Service. It was amazing how they were able to pivot to the virtual. I only hope that by this time next year we can meet again at St. James in New London. We can hope for that as this vaccine rolls out.
Thank you. Lee?
You're muted, Lee.
I did enjoy the MLK scholars. I always enjoy that. I also like Carnita's video that I read, I think yesterday, that I watched yesterday. The video was terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's it.
Rosemary?
I also enjoyed the MLK presentation. The food wasn't as good this year, but I'm hoping for next year. I also attended a sound community services meeting and board meeting and a GASP meeting. And GASP has some wonderful things coming down the pike for our students that you know, we can take advantage of. So
Thank you. Dean?
Dean, you're muted.
I'm muted. I can't believe it. I thought I was going to dodge that problem. No, you don't want to hear anything more from me. I've been unfortunately tied up with some personal things recently, so I wasn't able to engage as much as I wanted to.
Thank you. Did I miss anyone?
You
Jane.
did.
Say that again.
Jane.
Kudos to
Oh,
all-
Jane. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Kudos to all of you and all of the teachers in the schools, the families. I know only too well that entire families are sick with the virus these days, and it's very, very difficult, but everyone's moving forward, and it's a good thing. We all need to be proud of the work that's being done.
Yes, absolutely. And I echo everything that the board has said. I can't add anything to that because it was eloquent. And so now we have to go to advanced planning. So future meeting dates we have. Now, Susan, do I go through all this?
No.
No,
Okay,
it's a reminder for all of us.
okay, all right.
That's
And then
right.
we have, I see that on the 3rd, there's the town and city councils. On the 3rd is of February is, I don't even know, oh, town and council and RTM, that's a budget session. But I think I got a message from Beth Holy that on the 27th, there's a GEA, AGSA meeting with us. Is that true? Because it's not on here.
It's the regularly scheduled one. It's the January
She
meeting.
put it in the chat that it's
Oh, all
coming
right.
up. She put it in the
Okay.
chat.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Want
Yay.
me to do it?
No, I got a thing I gotta add.
Yeah,
An
that's
adjust-
that's what I
an
want to do
agenda
as
item.
well. I'm just asking we totally forgot to acknowledge Dr. Ackerman's role in the MLK Scholar Program. She meets with the scholars before the actual scholarship and also the ecumenical service, and offers her services of coaching them with their speeches. And so we owe her a debt of gratitude for that as well.
Well, I appreciate that, but you have to know that we're the three musketeers. It's Ms. Hodge and me and a former scholar who is now an engineer. She was a scholar maybe 10 or 15 years ago, and that's Miss Rachel Akins. So it's the three of us who work with the scholars. And there's not a richer experience on earth, and I know that Ms. Hodge and Ms. Akins would say that. So having said that, and I truly appreciate all the kind words that you've given to the MLK organization. Thank you.
And thank you for helping that student upgrade her goals.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
That was wonderful.
Okay, I need somebody to say goodnight, Gracie. Lee.
Gracie.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Yes. All in favor?
Yeah.
Do we go out of this or do we just stay here and go on? I'm
Well,
not sure.
I think that it's the same link, right, Mark?
Yes.
Moving
Just
along.
open the budget meeting.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do right now. At 8:01, I'm opening the budget meeting. Okay.
Now
is the
read
time-
his motion.
Now is the time to read the motion. So
So I made a motion to table tonight's budget meeting and to a later date.
And the second was?
Jane.
Jane seconded it, okay. And the discussion? There's no discussion now because we had it at the non-meeting. Okay, all in favor?
Of postponing or tabling?
Tabling. Yes, tabling. Opposed? Abstain? All right, and a second, good night, Gracie. Good night.
I make a
I'd like
motion to adjourn the budget meeting.
I second.
Okay. Do we do the all in favor and so on?
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes.
Mark, I hope that you can do something with this. Opposed? Okay.
Who seconded the adjournment? Liz made it. I did.
I think
Yeah, it was
Rosemary.
Rosemary. It was Rosemary.
Thank
Yeah.
you.